Why, hello there, my name's Depth Charge 2030, and today I'm talking about Transformers, issue 28, Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, and some background before I, go in depth with this whole review process and all that. So, this is like the start of Season 2 of Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. What is Transformers More Than Meets the Eye? It's basically this quest that's going on. Rodimus Prime, not Rodimus Prime, Rodimus, he basically got all these Autobots and kind of neutral characters together and say, we're gonna go find the Knights of Cybertron. And so they're on this ship called the Lost Light. They've got this whole amazing cast of characters, and it's just, let's go on an adventure. And so this takes place 6 months immediately after, well, 6 months after Dark Cybertron, which was like the giant crossover between the two Transformers books. And so let's jump right in and talk about it. And so we get this whole recap page about what happened on Dark Cybertron. We see the three characters kind of helming the three Transformers books right now. We've got 3 books going on right now. It's going to be 2 soon because one's a miniseries. So we go to Lost Light. 6 months later, we have Nautica. She's like this female Autobot who they just met, well, who we met during Dark Cybertron, and it's kind of weird, the whole female Transformers thing, but we're not going to talk about that here. And so she and Brainstorm like, hey, we're best buds, and then there's jokes about, hey, I'm Brainstorm, I'm funny, and I'm making guns that shoot different colors when you're, and then Nautica is just cool because she's like, isn't that a bit, condescending to just label one as bad and one as good, and he's like, well, the guns don't have to be color-coded, they could be different colors, and that's funny. I like this. It's funny. And then it goes to the resident psychiatrist, Rung, in his office, and we see the current captain sitting down for his appointment, and the captain is Megatron, sporting an Autobot symbol. And I'm kind of wearing a Decepticon. This is awkward. And so we cut back 6 months prior. We see all of the players in the Transformers universe, all the real leaders and everything. We see Rodimus, we see Prowl, we see Starscream, Ultra Magnus, Ratchet, and Optimus Prime. They're just sitting down being like, okay, we gotta, everyone wants a trial. We gotta put Megatron on trial, despite the fact that he turned good at the end of Dark Cybertron. Good as he put on Dead Bumblebee's Autobot symbol. And is like, yeah, I'm an Autobot now. Die Shockwave. Bam. That was amazing. And so, it's just like, oh, we're gonna do this. Prowl, you're gonna be the, prosecutor. Ultra Magnus, shut up, dog. Ultra Magnus, you'll be the defense. I will be Tyrus' place, because Tyrus is dead, if you go all the way back to Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye, Season 1, and yeah. So Rodimus, he wants to take off. He wants to go back on his quest because that was fun. And then we cut back to present day. And then there's this great interaction between Rung and Megatron about his book. Because Megatron, for those who don't know, in IDW, Megatron wasn't always the murderer that he kind of was during the Great War. He was this he was this educated person. He wrote books about freedom and stuff, and then he was shown this new way by Whirl about beating people up and whatnot. Goddamn it, Whirl. And so then there's a sweet line about editing, about how we always edit ourselves, and that gives me great insight into who Megatron is. He's this guy who's always changing. It's just amazing. And then there's this whole weird X-ray thing that happens to the ship, to Rung and Megatron, and it's like, oh, it must be a power outage, and Megatron goes to find out what's wrong. And then we cut back 6 months ago, where 3 members of the Lost Light, Swerve, Crosscut, and this new character, Riptide, they're like, hey, we're holding auditions. Who wants to join the Lost Light? And then it's basically just Swerve having fun and being like, oh, sorry, Groove, you've got too much ADHD there. Oh, hey, Blue Streak, we don't let anyone who looks like Prowl in. Hey. That's all fun. And then we get to Nautica, where she's having her whole thing, and it's like, And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, but, I don't like all the syllables in your name. Rodimus doesn't like that. And that's when Nightbeat, who's like, he was dead a while ago, and he's like alive now, he pushes down the doors like, stop everything, and that's amazing. And then it's just like this whole Sherlock Holmes thing, and Swerve is just having fun with it, and then it's just fun because Nightbeat just goes, Rodimus would never have this, Ultra Magnus would never have this, because you forgot one thing. Cruditions is not a word, Ultra Magnus, he's very, he doesn't like that if you get that wrong. No. Spelling and grammar. Go to school. And then we cut back to what's going on with Megatron 6 months ago. He's sitting in jail, and they're going to have the whole trial, and then, well, Optimus, he brings in Chrome Dome, who's a manosurgeon who can, like, go into your head with needles and pull out information and rewrite you. That's season 1 of Transformers. Google it. TF Wiki. And so Megatron is just like, no, don't F with my brain. And that's awesome. And then we cut back to today, and it's just Nightbeat and Skids. They're trying to comfort or get, trying to get Chrome Dome out of his room because his kind of husband, Rewind, died back in, like, issue 15 of More Than Meets the Eye. This is issue 28. So he's sad. He's sulking in his room. And then Nightbeat, he's just like, okay, we'll leave you alone. Wait. The number on this door is missing. And then they leave, and there's, like, more letters on the wall outside missing. And then we cut over to... that's a plot thread. So we cut over to Megatron, and he's just walking down his ship. He's like, my door. Someone has written murderer here. And then someone shoots an arrow through his hand, and then we cut to Whirl. He's got this crossbow. He's like, oh, looking at me? I didn't do that. Then he just attacks Megatron. And because Whirl, he's lived the entirety of the Great War being like, Megatron's always wanted to kill me. I beat him up in prison, or whatnot. It's like, I'm invincible. I'm Whirl. And then Megatron just goes, I only let you live this long so I could kill you. Then he just phases Whirl's arm through another dimension, kind of, and just chops it off. And he's just like, you know what, Whirl? I'm gonna let you go. Clean up my door, and I'll, we'll get to this again. And then this is just... Then Megatron gets called up to the bridge. Chrome Dome... Chrome Dome? Yeah, Chrome Dome. He's listening to Rewind's final message, and then it begins to shriek like a yell. So that alarms him. Whirl, he's like, oh, hey, I failed, but, he didn't kill me, so, he didn't bite. It's like Rodimus said. And then... Yeah. And then we cut over to the trial, and then Tyrus Optimus, because he's wearing Tyrus' whole high justice crown thing, is like, how do you plead? And Megatron goes, guilty. And then we cut back to present day on the Bridge of the Lost Light, where Ultraman is just like, we found this, and by the look of the object, it's a coffin. So that ties back all the way to issue number 1 of Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, where there's this message about a coffin from the future and whatnot. So, yeah, that's the end of the issue, and holy crap, I love this book so much. So, let's talk about the writing. The writing's spot on. The thing that makes More Than Meets the Eye this amazing book, it's about the characters. It's just amazing. It brings in great character development. It throws in great story. James Roberts, he's amazing at this. Alex Milne, he brings amazing art to this book. He just gives it so much character, so much detail. It's just amazing. I have never seen this kind of cartoony, realistic Transformer whatever before. Like, I see a robot smiling like a cartoon, but I believe that's how their anatomy would be. I buy that. I'm just like, I accept it, and it works better for it. Like, you see the hands, they're all detailed, like, this finger right here, it has all these joints and pivots and whatnot, and it works. The story on its own, I love it. I love the characters interaction. I love Megatron. He's like one of my favorite Transformers of all time. Peace through tyranny, even though it's freedom's right of all sentient beings right now, because he's a Autobot right now. I don't know how long that'll be, but Megatron just being in command of all these Autobots, sporting this Autobot symbol, that's awesome. I love this book. I gotta get, like, I got nothing bad to say about it. The only thing is, like, I wish I had more in this issue, so I would give this book a 5 out of 5. That's literally my opinion, because I love Transformers. I love the story. It's just so good, and I love it. So, my name's Depth Charge 2030. Not going to be Depth Charge 2030 in a mile, because I keep stuttering. So, yes, do take care. Depth Charge out.